Another thing was I wanted to know when is like a good time to be swapping as like Pyra and Mithra. Just because it's like you could have those times where it's like you're playing out neutral, you win neutral, and then you swap to Pyra, and then you get like nothing off of it, and then all of a sudden you're in a disadvantaged spot with Pyra, and then now you're like, oh well, I gotta switch back in order to win neutral. But I'm not really exactly sure where I should be swapping basically. So those
So
are like the two main things.
okay, honestly, I should have been Pyre Method for this too, but it's totally fine. I suppose we can try and make it work. So what I would say is it's going to boil down to actually a lot of different factors. I would say the main factor is your matchup to say who are you fighting against and can you afford to be playing Pyre more often than not. Probably the number one thing that you have to deal with for sure is how fast is your opponent compared to you. Are they way faster than you or are they a little bit faster than you? For example, if you're fighting, I'll say Pyra versus Link, if you want to play Pyra and try and space around him, you can clank with all of his projectiles with your sword. Your side B can also detonate his bomb as well too. So playing Pyra versus Link is not bad. You don't have to play Mithra. You can absolutely play mostly Mithra in a situation like that because the character is not going to smother you, and you might be able to use Foresight to get around projectiles as well. If your combo game, you can edge guard to or ledge trap to an extent. Kind of go off stage, but not really. But you could be playing Pyra there. I would say as far as in the actual game itself, we don't have to say specifically Link, but any character. If you have your opponent in a spot where they are trying to escape you, that is the one of the main spots where you should be using Pyra. If they're not actually at death percent. So I'll say if you want to try and catch them in a tech chase situation, juggling them above the stage, going for a sharking situation on the platform, ledge trapping, edge guarding, basically anything that isn't neutral. The one time that you would want to play Pyra in neutral, or actually I guess there's two times. One of them would be is if your opponent is at insanely high percent and you can get a single hit to kill them and you don't have to get them into a ledge trap or edge guard situation first. That would be one situation. The other situation is if you have a massive lead and you want to just play hit and run or bait with punishing. So if they try and run in on you with anything, you could get a crazy combo if you want to with Mithra, or you can just forward tilt them or back air them with Pyra. And you have so much more range and you do so much more damage per hit that they have to be so much smarter when they're approaching you. I'll admit, of course, Pyra is quite slow, so in some situations that won't work super well. But if you're very good with your movement, like same thing with like Leia with Byleth is not fast, but if your movement is on point and you're not swinging on them, you're waiting for them to swing first and then you're just whiff punishing them, your character can actually be quite fast, right? As far as like just
Okay.
dashing in and out of space. Let's
So
say,
you're like sitting back, of course. You're just kind of letting them come to you.
yeah, the biggest thing for sure is recognize that and I was just talking to my last student about this, if you have a lead, recognize that you've earned the right to camp. Which sounds corny, but it's the truth. If you're winning, even if it's by 3%, you don't have to approach me. I'll
Yeah, I'd
admit,
rather sit back and let you do
yeah, let me make the
like an
mistakes.
unsafe option, and then
Yeah,
oh well, I got an outfield option.
yeah, let me commit to something that might be wrong. So if I go like this, if you're just standing there, you just forward tilt me or dash out of the way, dash back in with a dash attack. But if you just dash attack me first and you're wrong, I now get to dash out of the way of you or jump over your dash attack and whiff punish you.
Same.
So that's how you can throw away a lead. You can throw away a lead even as Mithra as well when your opponent's at super high percent and you don't switch into Pyra to get your kill, right? Because you really want to get a kill with Mithra. You want a lightning buster, you want a smash attack, you want to edge guard them, you want to do something else to get that kill. And your opponent's living till 170% or 180%. Whereas if you switch to Pyra and respected the fact that you actually have a lead, sit back, wait for them to do something, and if they make a mistake, you hit them once with up tilt and they're just dead. Right?
So let's say that they're playing a projectile based character. Is it just better for me to rush in with Mithra because they're going like instead of approaching me, they're gonna be like, okay, well I'm a projectile character. I can sit here and pressure you with like projectiles such as like Samus using side B as well as neutral B
Mm-hmm.
to try to sit back and force me to approach. Does that mean I'm supposed to jump around those projectiles and shield them as well as if I were to
Yeah.
have a lead, of course?
I would say you can sit back and if let's say for example, if I'm over here playing as Samus and I'm shooting at you, right? I'm doing this kind of action and just jumping and doing whatever. You can literally sit out of my range because my projectile will eventually disappear, or you have so much time to react that you can just move. If you want to sit over
Yeah.
there, this is the idea of not giving in to my, I guess, poor gameplay. Right? If I want to sit back here and shoot at you until the end of time, although I'm at death percent and you're at low percent, if you don't let that work, I have two options. Either switch what I'm doing or lose. Those are my choices. If you're like, oh shit, he's put on like 20% or 30%, or in some cases like 12%, if that's enough for you to just run in, why would I ever stop doing this? Right? Now you're chasing me while you have a lead, and I'm just going to run away from you and keep on shooting at you, and now catch up the or make up the difference in the percent until we'll get to a point where I can just down tilt you and kill you, or nair or up B at a shield, or like up throw you as Samus and kill you.
Yeah.
I can say this for sure. With regards to chip damage, don't be intimidated by chip damage if you have an actual healthy lead. So if I'm doing this, if I shoot you, it's like, okay, that's 3%. I can shoot you 10 times and it'll do 24 damage, right? With staling.
Yeah.
So if I shoot you 10 times and I've done 24%, you should never think, well, he's done 24%. Now I got to approach, right? In the situation where we're at right now.
That does seem pretty outrageous for like, oh yeah, he's at like a 120 and I'm sitting here as Pyro trying to deal with projectiles.
Yeah. So let's just for fun, let me shoot you until this is fully stale. So I think we're almost there. So I did like 1 point something. At 1.9, something like that, in that range.
It looks like 2%.
That was 2?
It's like,
yeah, so roughly
Yeah,
2
there
or
it
under
is.
2. Yeah, like 1.9.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, unless like Falco's pretty extreme, but let's say if I'm shooting you like this, I'm doing basically 1.5 damage per shot. Besides being insanely annoying, there's no reason to think that I'm gonna win from that.
yeah.
Here's the thing too. You don't have to stand there and get shot in the face at this point like 17 times.
At that point, I could just sit and
move.
shield.
Just move or
Yeah,
shield or
like
jump
why
out
would
of
I
the way.
sit? Why would I like just
Yeah.
kind of stand there? Yeah.
You would actually be surprised or amazed at how many people will give in to being shot by
Dude,
Falco
I
Laser.
just give in on that. I can tell you that.
It's like, well, I'm tired of
Dude,
this
it's
already.
So bad.
Yeah. So if you recognize, okay, like if you want to shoot me, like I'll take the 34 or 38%. You're still losing though. And here's the thing, if I do this, that sequence, obviously I shot you and you didn't move. That whole sequence could have taken me 45 seconds to land 17 shots. So I just wasted 45 seconds. You're still winning by a mile, and I haven't figured out any of your habits. So now eventually I do have to run in, and I still don't know how you play. And I've done basically no damage. So it wasn't worth doing.
Yeah.
So if it's a character that has a stronger projectile, of course, let's say Samus or like Young Link or something. Even with Young Link arrows, he has to charge them slightly, and if I want to shoot them in the air, I have to jump, or I have to shoot them on the ground and they go straight. So if you know that I'm on the ground, I can't angle it or anything like that. Just go on the platform. If I jump, you go under the platform. Stay away from me, right? If you have a lead. This is if you want to do this. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but don't. The idea that we're talking about so far is the premise of giving in when you shouldn't be. And this is why a lot of people lose to Young Link, and I think we may have talked about this in the past, but Young Link can't kill you unless he gets close. I can't kill you unless
Yeah,
I get close.
there's points where when I fight like a Young Link, they just mash Derek and I just approach them.
Yeah. Like,
And then they win because of that.
yeah, if I
Instead
can
of me,
catch
like,
you in
being
stupid
aware of
ways.
it.
Yeah, if I can catch you in a stupid way, then sure. But here's the thing. Let's say if I'm at like 160, for whatever reason, you're just styling on me, but you can't kill me. Maybe not 160. Let's say like 100. Say I'm at 100.
Yeah, 100 is good.
Yeah,
spot.
somewhere in that spot. If I'm just doing this, first of all, this doesn't even reach all the way. So if I have to do this, this is insanely slow. This is never going to make you approach. Because every time that I do this, you can just go up there. So now if you're up there, now I have to go like this, right? And then you just do that. And so never, ever, ever work. I might hit you once or twice, but here's the thing too. If the Young Link is actually trying to make a comeback, if I ever hit you, let's say I catch you right here, I'm going to run in and try and make something happen and hopefully try and make you panic, right? If you know that that's the plan, I'm not saying get hit on purpose, but if you know that they're going to approach eventually because they have to and they think they have a real opening, this is where you can get into a scramble situation. Your whiff punish can be a forward tilt or a dash attack or a fair or nair or something to make them either miss a tech or sort of get put into a tech chase situation, juggle situation, make them have to air dodge, waste their jump, something, and then you can pressure them to try and reset neutral from a disadvantaged point, right? If I'm like this is not even neutral. This is nothing, right?
That's just you just kind of sitting there and hoping I do something.
Yeah, so as soon as you run towards me, I'm now going to jump at you like this, or throw this out, or go like this, or like jump and go for this, and try and catch you off guard because you're trying to make a move on me when you don't have to. But if I go like
Yeah.
this, let's say I shoot at you and say, oh shit, now's my chance, and I run in, and I go like this, and then I miss, because let's say you shield, you up, you get a
That's like a
shield, you
free
get a
grab.
grab, something, right? If you go for
Yeah.
a forward throw, and then I like air dodge away from you, get a dash attack, and now, just because I approached with that one arrow and I thought I had something, you've gone across the entire stage, got a punish or two, and now I'm off stage, and you're still winning. You
That's
didn't give in to
sick.
anything. You basically said, sure, if you want to do this, I got all day. I got all
I
day,
could
bro.
sit here and block projectiles and just have you do everything for me at that point.
Yep. And that's the thing.
And it comes down to me just to approach no, not to like approach you, but to punish you correctly basically after that.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the thing too, is if I'm playing in a very, like, this is a very extreme example. I'll admit not a lot of players will do this to this degree. But if I am, let's say, shooting and going like this and just going like this, like nonstop, and maybe throwing this up like this, right, and just going like this and just trying to be annoying, eventually when I run in, I'm going to try and go for something that's going to either get me a combo or try and kill you if I can, or get you off stage. So I'm either going to jump in and go like this, try and catch you high. I might go for a grab, right? If you're scared of like projectiles, I might run up and go for a dash attack. I might S smash you, come down with like a fair or nair, something, right? And if I happen to be wrong and miss you, what's my immediate panic option? Do I go down like this, then like, let's say shield spot dodge, or like go like this, and like, let's say up B at a shield, something, because I'm panicking.
Just mashing like a panic option after that.
Yeah, because I don't want to get punished for my clear overextension of just thinking I can go like this and kill you, right? Because if I go like this and I miss, like I might go like this, throw another one, or I go like this, throw that out, and then like spot dodge, go like this and start mashing jab, something. The idea is to stay calm and collected as far as if I run at you and do something, if I catch you, then fair play on my part, I guess. I made something happen, but I got to do it like 10 times because I'm behind by so much. And there's a timer as well, of course. That's the biggest thing too, is keeping the time on your side, or keeping it in consideration. I can say that when you go to a tournament, online or offline, recognize that you've devoted your entire night to whatever you're doing, right? If you have to win 10 sets to win the tournament, don't say I have to win 10 sets in 45 minutes or 10 sets in an hour, because that's never going to happen. If you destroy every single person on winner's side, you still have to wait until it's time to actually play grand finals, right?
That's true.
So it doesn't matter how long it takes for you to get through your sets. It might be more tilting if you take longer, but it actually is a lot worse if you just lose and then go home or stop playing because you got knocked out because you were complacent. Here's one thing I've thought about for a long time as far as a mentality that you should have. When you go to a tournament, your goal is not to win as many sets as you can. Your goal is to not lose 2 sets. That's it. Don't lose 2 sets. That's it. Yeah, if you can keep it as simple as that, it's like, oh, well, I don't really care how long it took. I don't really care about how many games I play. I just care about how many sets I lose, right? If I never lose 2 sets, that means you literally won the tournament.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what it is. So if you break it down like that, it's not like, oh, I've won 14 sets. Like, yeah, that's great. But if you go 14-2, you still lost because you gave in once or twice, and then that's it. It's basically having that stone cold ironclad mentality to say I'm never losing because I don't want to. It's that simple. And I will say there's a bit of a catch or an asterisk beside that. If someone is genuinely playing the game right and better than you, then of course you can still lose. But if someone is way worse than you and playing stupid as hell and you give in, then that's a huge L on your part.
That's on you. That's not on them.
Yeah, so say I'm not going to give in because I don't want to. I don't want to lose to someone who's worse than me because I don't want to. So I'm going to let you play stupid, time yourself out, or do some stupid shit on my shield, and I'm going to up B the entire game or up smash the entire game because this is how you want to play. And then I'm going to move on and fight someone who's actually good.